right. Welcome to Gen X Rated Thursday edition. How we doing, Billy?
Good. Happy to be here. The sun's shining. We got a nice break in the weather, which is very nice.
Still kind of chilly though, am I wrong?
A little chilly, but it's still March. And
Well,
it's
that's
going to get
true.
downright cold next week, so be ready.
Yeah, I think a low of 20 degrees here on Tuesday of next week.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, super. And what, 2 days ago it was 86 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was complaining it was too hot and humid, very muggy.
Yeah, well, I guess some people you can't please.
You really can't.
I'm talking about you.
What?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like me at all.
Anything going on today? Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, I can't think of anything. I don't know. The world's so calm and, everything is very stable.
I know, $820 billion wiped out of the stock market in the first 2 hours today. I'm sure we all saw Trump or bits of his news conference yesterday. He was basically campaigning for the guy against Massey in Kentucky. Said how stupid people were and how amazing he was, even though from this photo you can see the flop sweat all over him.
Oh, I know. Who's even coming out to see this guy?
It was a really small crowd. I think I have another picture of him in Kentucky. Oh, here he is. Because other than bringing Jake Paul out there and doing the dance, here's what this guy does. 8 service members dead, 150 casualties that we don't talk about in Kuwait, and the dance machine's out.
Bringing out the dance machine, going back to all the hits. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. This is just great. A real responsible war president.
Yes. Well,
he's completely checked out.
He didn't call it a war. He called it an excursion. And then he does his little wave thing.
An excursion is when the people from the senior home get on the bus and go to the casino for the day. That's an excursion. He is so fucking out to lunch. It's beyond pathetic. It's disturbing. In fact, it's beyond disturbing. It's just, I don't even know what to call it. There is literally a demented madman calling the shots, and everybody is going along. Fucking Marco Rubio wears shoes that don't fit because he's afraid to get yelled at. I mean, he looks like a fucking kid wearing his dad's shoes. Those things are so big. It looks like he's wearing clown shoes, which would be fitting because he is a clown.
Yeah, they had the whole cabinet in clown shoes. Today they had the photo of Rubio wearing his suits now, which are too big. Pretty hilarious.
I can't even imagine. I mean, how do you sell your soul and all of your dignity? Do you really hate yourself that much? So you went to a foam party. Maybe you were curious, maybe a little, I don't know, flattered to get the attention. Deal with it, Marco. Come on, baby.
And frankly, nobody cares. He should be way off that.
Yeah, frankly, nobody cares.
There was speculation that somebody told him that it was an incursion, and he really couldn't process what that meant. So nobody wants to correct him because then you might have to wear the suit with the shoes. I don't know.
I mean, I think a better word to call it would be an atrocity. I mean, you blew up a school. First, you took out the teachers and the children in the first round. Then you waited and you took out the parents that came rushing to see what happened. So yeah, that's a fucking, it's an obscenity. That's what that is. And you blame the Iranians when there's clear evidence.
Yeah, the Iranians are showing wreckage from there. I mean, the serial numbers are on it. The manufacturers are on there. The latest lie, and they are investigating, says Heggie, but...
I'm sure they're I'm sure
the Iranians stole the Tomahawk missiles, as we said, and then bombed themselves, which could be an interesting thing moving forward. You saw where they talked about we may have some trouble in the homeland. The Iranians are looking to bomb with drones in California, which doesn't seem really likely. But Fort Campbell in November is missing 4 drones. I find it telling because you didn't hear anything about it till now, which is useful information. And the Army is offering $5,000 reward. I mean, it's like somebody kidnapped your wife and you're like, $1,500. I want it.
Maybe I can go to $1,550, but that's it. That's all I can do.
I mean, you clearly don't want these drones back if that's all you're offering. And
No, and I think by now many people have heard the term false flag operation, which many people still consider 9/11 to be that, and that gave birth to the Patriot Act. So yeah, it just looks like they're planning something, and especially with an incompetent, googly-eyed boob running the FBI and the counterterrorism efforts. Um, doesn't even need to be a false flag. I mean, anything can slip through with these clowns.
well, and that same guy that you're talking about talked about a historic opportunity that the FBI has. They're going to use UFC uh, fighters to train their FBI members. So a lot of the FBI is interrogating and doing reconnaissance and um, more fact finding and less
Mhm.
about ripping somebody's eyeball out and crushing some nuts.
Yeah, yeah, it's Federal Bureau of Investigation,
Mhm.
not fucking big idiots.
Slash
Although I guess you could change that now.
Street Fighter. Okay.
Yeah, that is not what this is. They have people that do that.
Yeah, pretty amazing. I don't know what the reason for the false flag. They're just trying to maybe gain support for this war that isn't
Well,
working
gain
out so
support,
well.
then you've got an excuse. We're under attack. America's under attack. We need to shut down the military, declare martial law.
Well, they did release a reserve group that they're the response team to any kind of like uprising in cities. And he did say by April they would have response teams like that from the Guard in all 50 states. Maybe you turn into martial law. Maybe we get more Epstein file stuff that he doesn't really want people pushing back against. The last part of this, when they talked about the false flag, specifically in California or some kind of sleeper cell operation, U.S. Bank Tower in L.A. was just bought by Larry Silverstein.
Jesus, that's a big red flag.
And for
Big
those
false
that
flag, red flag right there.
and those that don't know, Larry Silverstein, he owned the World Trade Centers, and he was able to get insurance for a terrorist attack prior to it all happening. So, a little concerning.
Yeah, and then the other, the smaller building collapsed. World Trade 7 collapsed without even being hit.
Yeah, and the BBC kind of announced that early. So very
Yeah, nothing shady about that. I mean, it's like when Hans Moleman's car rolls off the hill and taps a tree and bursts into flame. It's Jesus.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. The other thing with Trump, not only dancing, but he just went straight up blowing himself about how amazing things are. The economy is just raging. Things are so good. What else did he say? It was rated, and this was rated officially, best first year ever of a president. The things he did,
Ah,
amazing.
who's doing the rating?
I think he is.
Yeah,
Stopped 8 wars, about to stop a ninth one. He could have stopped the ninth one by not blowing up a all-girls school.
yeah. Maybe by not starting it, he could have stopped it. But
There you go.
again,
And he did that with some other ones that he claimed that he stopped. So that would have been a no-brainer right there.
World War I, World War II, that Vietnam place, I stopped that one. Korea, yeah, I ended that one too.
Seemed like an excursion in its own right. Also talked about the economy roaring. It's phenomenal was another word that was used. Just how great things are. One thing he failed to mention was anything about the Kentucky soldier that was one of the 8 that was killed in the Iran war, Benjamin Pennington. It would have been a great opportunity. You're in Kentucky. You want to thank the troops. No mention. More about me and how great I am.
Yeah,
So,
Trump does not care. Well, you make an omelet, you got to break a couple eggs.
well, the Iran war has cost $11.3 billion in the first 6 days. The 2 weeks that we've fought this war have cost $25 billion. For $3 billion more, the ACA, 1 year of ACA subsidies could have been covered.
Yeah, and what are you doing? What's been accomplished? There is no clear goal. Again, you're just murdering people, destroying people's homes, leaving them homeless, and now Israel's decided to go after Lebanon
With white phosphorus, yes.
with white phosphorus and just moving people out. It's just a blatant land grab. Hey, get the fuck out.
Not only that, I saw today where they were pouring concrete into these water holes where people were getting their water sources.
Dude, I mean, that's just who the fuck are these people?
I don't know, and why would that ever occur to you that that would be okay? Um, yeah, it's extremely disturbing.
It's a slap in the face to every Jew that died in the Holocaust. It's just a slap in the face. It's just disgusting. That's who you've become. Netanyahu is right up there. You put the little mustache on him, and there's no difference between him and that other fucking twat waddle.
You always say they learn from the best playbook on these
Yeah,
ways of exterminating people.
yeah. I mean, it's exact. They've dusted it right off. It's disgusting, and all in the name. Netanyahu's got his own reasons. He wants to stay out of jail.
Much like Trump.
The hardcore right wing Israelis want the land. They're hardcore haters.
They don't even work. They're subsidized. They get free healthcare. They get free education. They don't even work.
Oh, I know. Well, the Orthodox, they were exempt from the draft, but I think they changed that. I don't know if they changed it back and made them go into the army.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so disturbing on so many levels. And man, I don't know. I mean, and they are suckers for the Christian Zionists.
Yeah.
They'll be your friend until the bitter end. And the bitter end involves you being destroyed in the final battle before Jesus comes and sends you all to hell.
Well, and our Israeli ambassador, Huckabee, he's quite an evangelical, and he's a full supporter. The other guy, Lindsey Graham, who's losing his mind. Also,
Yeah.
I'm all about Israel. If you're not, Ted Cruz said the same thing as he was getting booed off the stage. Well, if you're not for Israel, I'm not for you.
Okay, yeah, you're definitely not for us, and we're going to show you that at the ballot box, Ted.
Can't wait.
And yeah, Lindsey Graham, he's out of his mind if he thinks he's going to get up on stage in Kentucky and sell that fucking rotten barrel of shit. Good luck with that. You'll be lucky if you make it off the stage, Lady Lindsay.
Well, and we're seeing all these 12 days of conflict. The Iowa farmers are coming out and talking about their fertilizer costs.
Yeah.
It's nothing's coming through the strait, so it's affecting them. They're not going to be able to produce anything. The 12-day conflict has made costs jump 77%. So you wouldn't think of a farmer and we'd have trouble with a fight in the Middle East. You think about oil and gas, sure, but no, it's going to affect a lot of us. In fact, the Iranians hacked Stryker Corporation, which does medical devices here.
Mm-hmm.
They have their medical technology, and they support the U.S. military. They have a $450 million contract with the Department of Defense. So these hackers just went and shut down all the people that work for the company, all their information. They have no access to their data. And it's little stuff like that. You wouldn't think, hey, I'm having knee surgery. Maybe this could be a problem. Foot and ankle, shoulder, whatever. So these are not dumb people. We can discount them all you want, but they're just like us. We've got some dummies like everybody else does. But 90 million people that have been, we've been at their throats for 47 years. I know everybody likes to talk, we should have cleared them out. Well, we started this, taking out the Shah of Iran, or putting in the Shah of Iran in 79. Like, we started this.
Yeah.
So let's not blame the people that...
Well, we put the Shah of Iran in, I think, back in the 50s, right?
Yeah.
And then what started it was, and, the repression set in, and they were still a secular society, but it was repressed. But you saw the Khomeini uprising when he was released, and we said, and the Shah was suffering from cancer, and we said, sure, we'll take him. He can get his treatment here. And that's what really started things off. That got the party started.
Well, he got out, and then the Ayatollah basically took over.
Yeah. But, it's a case where we meddled in something and stirred up, a fucking hornet's nest.
Kind of like Afghanistan. And the next thing you know, the Taliban's taking over, and women that were able to dress fashionably and get educated no longer could. Strange.
Yeah. And again, I don't know if people realize, but, Iran, they're Persians, and they're descendants of a way older civilization than we are.
Yeah, for sure. So you're saying they got to the party first. and then we came and crashed it.
Well, yeah. I mean, they had established things, and it's just they're descendants of an ancient civilization that was around way before we were. I mean, I remember one of my orthopod courses, where we talked about like casting and medical technology, and in the Middle Ages, when Europe people were still throwing shit out into the streets and wrapping wounds in dirty rags. The Egyptians were using cotton and gauze, and using a cleaner wrap and casting. They were way ahead of the white people.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have any influencers to share that, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, if it's not on the gram, it didn't happen.
Yeah, I'm going to put this up too, because we did the largest oil reserve release. Gas has definitely been an issue here. Costs right now are super unleaded. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg, which is always Greg. Whoops, not her. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to see that. But you can see gas prices are pretty high. 10 states, gallon of gas is more than $5. The average AAA set is $3.60 right now nationally. So we are paying at the pumps. Now, Trump said, hey, we produce the most oil anywhere. So when prices go up, we're making money. It's kind of the same thought on the tariff. Sure, the companies are making money, and maybe not with the tariffs because we're paying it, but we're also paying the oil companies that are making more money per gallon of gas.
Well, I saw an interesting video. I think it was on Instagram or TikTok, and it was basically a guy saying, that we took all that oil from Venezuela because that's where China buys their oil. So we decided we're going to take that and turn around and sell it to China. And China said, no, thanks. We're not buying from you. So now they said Trump's problem is he's got all this oil on his hands that nobody wants.
Well, it's really hard to refine.
Yeah. But again, I mean, this is a case of just somebody who just goes by his every base instinct in the moment. He never thinks ahead. There's no thought about how the dominoes are going to fall, or, what the after effects are going to be, or, no thought of that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you pay people, or at least we used to. We had, intelligence analysts, people that thought ahead, that could figure out, like, if we do A, well, then we're going to have to deal with B, C, and D. There's none of that. This guy's just like an infant, fucking kicking out,
lashing he had out. A gut instinct. And then, of course, KK Caroline says, well, Jared told him to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty amazing. We are seeing some pushback from the press, mostly through independent news. PBS now, basically, you could call them independent. They're not getting any government funding.
Mm-hmm.
And they're asking the tough questions, and they're pushing back, which is what it's going to take. And if that whole room of journalists start doing it, chips will start to fall pretty quickly.
Well, they need to, because the American people aren't going to put up with this. First of all, when you have such high gas prices like that, there's people that literally can't afford to get to work.
Yeah.
Prices are going to rise. Then you're talking about, shortage of fertilizer with prices rising. Food prices are going to rise again. They're already up. There's only so much that the American people can take. And this guy, he just, vacillates between, we're wrapping it up, it's going to be over, and we're doubling down. There's no plan.
And he talked about how food prices, he named probably 10 things from potatoes to chickens that are way down. It's just all fallacies.
He has no idea. That fool hasn't been in a grocery store since, one of his few campaign stops, when he went into one and somebody gave him a bag of Oreos and he was happy. And he walked off without paying for it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, him and his cabinet do not live in the same reality the rest of us do. He doesn't know what grocery prices look like. He doesn't, like we always talk about. These are people that, if they carry cash in their wallets, it's just stuffed with hundos that they, maybe they want to tip their favorite caddy.
Yeah.
But they don't carry cash. They don't open their own mail. They don't live in this world. Groceries, they're the people that, one of the great luxuries in life is to be able to walk through a grocery store and buy whatever you want, not even having to think about, okay, well, if I get this, maybe I have to put that back. And a great many people have to do that now.
Even and I know we've been there, I don't want to be embarrassed at the cash register. I'm doing the math in my head. So when I get up there, I have enough. I don't want to have to put stuff back. And
yeah. So now, you're having more Americans having to do that. People are being squeezed. And for what? There's no reason. There was no threat to us.
not at all.
And so, yeah, so now they're scrambling. And I would not be surprised if they start some kind of incident at home, some kind of terrorist attack. It's been done before. And I wouldn't put anything past these people. They're scared. They know the numbers. They know what the numbers look like for the midterms. They know the anger. Why do you think these representatives, Republican representatives, are not going to any of these town halls? When they do, they're booed off the stage.
And even Marjorie Taylor Greene's district that had a special election, the black service member the Democrat carried 41% of the vote. So he'll be in the runoff against fill in the blank. People don't even care who's on the
Clay Fuller, Trump supporter. So yeah, let's hope that albatross around his neck drags him down. That's going to be an interesting election, and I hope they take that seat. And I think deep down, Marjorie Taylor Greene does too.
I think you're right. I think
I'd like to see her campaign for him.
And here's the guy that Trump came to campaign for. I don't think Trump really knew his full name, but he he was kind of a pathetic person to choose. I mean, he was rah, and I think his voice cracked at the end, and he was just really there to give Trump a hand job. But I don't think it's going to work. I don't think the people of Kentucky are falling for this. The crowd, again, was pretty tiny. And I just want to go back to what you talked about, where gas prices, fertilizer prices. It turns out that because of that, a third of Americans have cut back on other expenses just to afford health care. Let's circle back. What's more important than your health and being able to get care for it? Nothing. So 62% of people without insurance are just going without. 32% are borrowing money to cover their health care.
Just to cover that. And again, in most cases, that's just to have the coverage. You're still paying a copay. You still have a deductible. And
yeah, absolutely.
The system is untenable and it's breaking people.
It is. And it just goes down the line. We talked about some of the corporate stuff and the economy, how great it was. And I just saw today, Amazon's laying off 16,000 workers. It's phase one. Next quarter, they're going to get rid of another 14,000 workers. There's entire teams of engineers being replaced by 2 or 3, right? It's running through the Claude Sonnet workflow. So they're looking for efficiency, but that doesn't include you and me, right?
Yeah, no.
So the whole Alexa division was completely hollowed out. They had 847 engineers. There's 23 left.
Jeez.
I mean, these are giant numbers for people that are smart and do their job well. That you get this education, you pay for this education. Now all of a sudden you're not that important. What made it worse was these outgoing engineers were having these outgoing interviews where they had to document their entire decision-making process, which they called it the knowledge transfer session. That goes directly into AI and like, hey, now we've taken everything out of your brain. We know your procedures. We don't need you.
Yeah. See ya. So are they at least getting severance packages or are they just getting terminated with 2 weeks and out the door?
That's a good question. I don't know if Amazon could get away with it, even with their giant tax break. I don't know why they would give you a severance pay. And it's just a domino. Oracle is going to, they discussed getting rid of between 22 and 30,000 workers. Those closer to the scene said it's going to be more like 45,000 people. And this keeps adding up. The job report numbers through the Trump administration, they had to revise them down for the last 13 months. So initially, the optimism about gaining some jobs, we actually lost 710,000 jobs. They averaged losing 55,000 jobs a month. Now, how can the economy be phenomenal and so great and all these factories being built and Ford was almost out of business until I came back and now Ford's cranking 24/7 at those factories? Where is this?
In his head. Yeah, exactly. And that fucking rattled out walnut of a brain that has left it in that head, that bulbous head.
How stupid is he? He made $1.4 billion just last year. His wealth, this guy that failed at everything and lied about being a billionaire, is now worth $6.5 billion.
Yeah, well, that's the one thing he's good at. He's good at grifting
Amazing.
and skimming. Yeah, he's got an amazing talent and instinct for that. I'll give him that. There's no doubt. But that money should be stripped from him and distributed to the people.
Well, the tariff money's gone. Any money, apparently there's $200 million missing from some of his vanity projects that people donated to. One might be the arch that he's going to do and name after himself and whatever. But this money, there's no real accountability, right? Like nobody's saying, hey, where did this go? Where's that?
Yeah, I mean, Bannon did time for that wall.
Yes, painted black. We love it.
Yeah, but I mean, there's only so much that the American public is going to put up with, and I think the wheels are wobbling on the old Trump train, and
they're not making it really attractive to be here as the next generation coming up. Home sellers right now are outnumbering buyers by 600,000. It's the largest gap ever on record.
Wow.
If you want to buy a house, you need to be able to make about $111,000 a year to be able to afford a house. You need to be making $76,000 a year to rent. Jesus. If you want to be able to rent. So, yes, Congress passed a bill so that hedge funds can't buy single home dwellings, but it's not helping with the current situation. So that stops the bleeding there where they're making money off it and you can't afford a house. But it's not changing the fact that you can't afford a house.
They said in California, basically, the only way you can afford a house is to inherit one.
That's exactly what I heard, too. 20%? What were they saying? You're absolutely right on the inheritance. And it has a tax base, too, because those people that have been there forever, their property taxes are less than somebody that just bought a $1.2 million house. If the parents paid $250, now you're buying it for 1.2. It just sets everything in motion higher. Your costs are all higher.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's not sustainable. It's not really going to work for a lot of people.
It's not going to work for most people.
A real issue because that goes to like how you live, your daily life. I don't want to live out of a car.
No, when it drives. Huh?
Sorry. I was going to say, you're not paying me, and now I can't afford a house. Maybe I know some people that aren't making the 76 either to rent.
Yeah, I mean, where are you supposed to go? What are you supposed to do with that? Especially if you've got children. Especially if maybe you have a business that's not making as much. Maybe your costs are up. Your business is down because people can't afford to buy your product or patronize your business the way they did. And you're paying your own health care and your kids' health care. What are you supposed to do? I mean, and that was the thing about the Republicans. They always talked about, we're for the small business people. I mean, we heard that shit in Missouri in their legislature when they were taking away our right to actually affect change with our petitions and votes. Well, we know best. We're small business owners. Well, what are you doing for the small business owners now? You're just putting the squeeze on them along with everybody else. Everybody who gets up in the morning and is worried about their job, about losing their, job provided healthcare, about losing their salaries, about watching their 401k go into the toilet. People can only take so much. It's you get the feeling that everybody is walking around with a heightened sense of just cortisol levels rocketing through their bodies. Yes. And
for sure, Trump said everybody's 401s are just blasting right up.
He left out the part everybody I know or I like.
Exactly. Americans are taking more hardship withdrawals from 401ks than any time in history. So they're drawing at whatever money that you're losing out of your 401k through the stock market. You're still drawing upon it because you need to. And then back on the healthcare, people are taking or rationalizing or rationing their medication. So even if you're fortunate enough to be able to afford your meds, you know that you need to stretch them out because you have less money. And that just doesn't seem like a thing that you should have to worry about your healthcare. It's just crazy.
Yeah, but yet we sent $18 billion to Israel last year, and they're not worried about their healthcare or their education.
That's right. And Trump wants to bump up the Pentagon budget 50% next year. That's a ton of cash going into
That's a ton of cash when people are struggling. People are literally living in fear of losing their homes, losing their jobs, rationing their
That's
their medications, or putting off getting cancer treatments, or just
I'm
you have
saving for
men.
that burial.
Yeah. Oh, and that's going to cost you too.
That's why I'm saving.
You could dig a hole in your yard, but oops, you don't have a yard anymore.
And then if you look at adults age 55 to 64, the median amount saved for retirement is about 30,000.
Yeah.
That's not going to last very long. They're cutting your Social Security. So if you're counting on that monthly check, which is your money that you paid in, it's not a benefit, it's your money. You'll be getting less of that too. They would like you to work till you're at least 70, and then take a couple years after that to fish or something. I don't know.
Well, and where are you supposed to work when massive layoffs are happening to, educated people, and factories are closing? They're being sent overseas. They can talk all they want to about the massive factories they're building, but the fact is they just closed one, I think, in somewhere in Ohio. I forget where it was. So yeah, you're being lied to on a daily basis.
A lot of lying.
So yeah, and the older workers are the first ones to go when there's cutbacks and layoffs. So I
Yeah.
don't know what they expect you to do. They just expect you to either disappear or drop dead.
You got two choices.
Yeah, you decide. It's just it's unbelievable what they've done to this country in a year.
Yeah. Well, did I not mention it was the best year ever? I think
Yeah, for Trump,
I think you missed that one. Yeah,
for
for Trump
the
and his associates.
and his associates and his Weasley family. Sure, best year ever.
And Congress is finally bringing people into committee to talk about like the DOGE people. These kids come off really uninformed, trying to be nice here. They kept referring back to Trump's executive order. The one guy couldn't even define what DEI was. They were running it through Chat GPT
Yeah,
just to kind of do it. And at the end of the day, they really just went in there to take 500 million people living and dead your information through Social Security. That's what they want. Then
yeah,
they
they
know how
did.
you vote. Then they can kind of control your vote. Um, I'm going to jump back to the SAVE Act because this is still on the table that they're trying to push through this SAVE Act. Trump thinks it's amazing. It's common sense, this, that, and the other. I've had discussions with friends of mine just to kind of clarify what we're talking about. It's just not as simple as your birth certificate. So it's to vote, sure, you need a real ID. That's great. You know how many states have real ID? And you're in one that has one.
Mm-hmm.
5.
Wow.
5 states. So if all 50 states had it and you had real ID, that's all you would need. That'd be great. Real ID with citizenship. This is about to register, how to register to vote. You need ID and a birth certificate, a hospital record, your adoption decree, naturalization certification or certificate. These aren't things that you just pick up in a day.
No,
So
and the
by the time
places you go to get them have all been had budget cutbacks and layoffs.
Yeah, so that could be a 6 to 8 week process, which you'd almost have to start on now. So
Yeah,
basically, with the SAVE Act, you have 21 million eligible voters that don't have easy access to proof of citizenship. Well, there's 21 million people that aren't going to be voting, red, white, or other, red, blue, independent. So this common sense thing's ridiculous. And just to use an example of somebody that might have trouble voting with the SAVE Act is this guy, James David Bowman, also known as JD Vance. What's he presenting? How's he gonna register to vote? How's he gonna vote? It's not his given name. It's not on his birth certificate. And literally, James David Bowman, he's going to have to get that birth certificate. Now, I think he's got a pretty good shot at doing it, but I'm just trying to make a point here. This is the number 2 guy in our country, and he couldn't, under their new law, go and vote.
yeah, but of course he will, because the rules don't apply to people like him.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't need that. We know who you are, sir.
We know JD. He's
Yeah.
all good. The other thing was passports. They're like, oh, passports. And we're like, well, 50% of Americans don't have a passport. So now you're disenfranchising them. They talked about the women, and this was in Senate committee. And the Republicans got so desperate. They were like, well, I agree with what you're saying, but What about we pass it and then we could amend it? And I think it was one of the
Yeah.
Democrats just said, when was the last time you amended any bill in the Senate? When?
Yeah, we're not falling for that one.
Fuck no. We'll put it into law first, then we'll fix it.
Yeah, no. How about you fucking fix it or just flush it? Better yet.
Flush it. Interestingly
I-
enough, Fetterman came out and said he would not vote for it. Surprise. Um, maybe he had a lucid moment for a second. I don't know.
maybe.
Markowski, the flip flopper, said she would not vote for it. I mean, this is common sense.
What about Susan Collins? What's Susan Collins think? And I'm sure she's very concerned.
She's in big trouble in her district. People dislike her intensely.
As they should. She's had so many chances that she could have made a difference, and she did not.
She did not. And if you saw her when she was a young Susan Collins, she talked about term limits and the fact that she would only stay in for her term and be done because that's the right thing to do. Until she went home with a wheelbarrow full of cash.
Yeah. Here's the right thing to do. Here's where Susan Collins lives. Very far apart.
Yes, orbiting around.
Not even in the same orbit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Really, she's awful. Yeah, I hope she gets soundly defeated, and it looks like she's gonna. Knock on wood. See.
I think she's in big trouble. People are just sick of the shit. It doesn't. You could vote. You could put any Republican out there, and most people are just want anything but. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. I saw that interview with a Hispanic gentleman that voted for Trump, and at the end of the interview, after talking about how he sees inflation every day, and maybe people aren't seeing it, but at his work, he sees it every day. He pointed out the fact that he doesn't even have $5 in his pocket. And at the end, he said, I kind of miss Uncle Joe.
Yeah, I think we all do.
He was like, there may have been some stuff going on there, but it didn't affect my daily life. It didn't affect my job. It didn't affect walking around town and not, having colossal stress. Go ahead.
Well, and I didn't have to hear from him every minute of every day. That grating voice wasn't blasting through every TV. I mean, yeah. He went about his business, did his job, and we could go on with our lives.
Yeah, which I really liked. I'm going to put this up because I think this is sort of what we're going to find with people falling out of favor and then turning on one another. This is Kristi Noem and her husband. Oh, wait a minute. This is,
That's not her husband.
Yeah, not her husband. This is Lewandowski. My bad. Ooh. Anyway, my point being that Trump's now turned on her. She's been booted out of Mar-a-Lago. Lewandowski thinks he can do anything he wants because he'll be pardoned by Trump. But that turns pretty quickly on a dime when you start to make him look bad. She was booted out of Mar-a-Lago. She's not welcome there anymore. If she wants to join, it's $1 million plus. That's just the application fee.
Oh, and we're going to need all those costumes back.
Normally you put in your contract, you get to keep the costumes, but you're probably right. You can keep the hat, but her membership has been rescinded. Her and him were escorted out of the DHS offices, which was pretty probably nice for some people to see. Yeah. And then the replacement that's coming out that he's picked is this guy, Mark Wayne Mullin, who's on the House Intelligence Committee. And intelligence is really a stretch. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
So this is the guy that would step into her place. She wasn't great, but she was the governor of South Dakota? Some shit. She had some governing background. This guy has no government experience, no law enforcement background, no intelligence work in his career line, didn't serve in the military. He doesn't even have a bachelor's degree. And I'm not talking poorly of those that didn't go to college or get a degree, but why are you in charge of Department of Homeland Security? You don't have any of these things that would make you a candidate other than maybe DEI because you've been blowing Trump. The only job he had outside of politics was his family's plumbing business. So
and I'm sure he was, and it was a non-union plumbing shop. And I'm sure he was not like an actual real plumber. I don't think he went to trade school to be a plumber, which we know is actually not easy.
No, it's a difficult thing. But I was told he could work a plunger. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah. A real Nepo baby.
Yeah. Well, again, you're only DEI if you're a successful woman or a person of color. Then you're clearly a DEI hire.
Yeah, but
We
if you're
don't
a
do that.
mediocre white man, well, it's your rightful place.
Well, it's funny you'd say that because Kristen Kirk, or whatever her name is, teamed up with Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and they're going to put that Top USA, whatever that fucking thing is, Charlie Kirk's old company, into every high school, every public high school in Arkansas.
Ugh.
And you're going to have the support. She made the slip of saying, you know, we got your back, and specifically mentioning white male men, which the way she said it sounded like white mailmen. So Mike D's going to be okay. They're looking out for you at what is that place called? Top USA? What is it?
Turning Point USA.
Turning Point USA. Yeah, every school, and we're gonna do our religious studies, and it's gonna be amazing, and people are gonna love it.
I can't wait to see the kids that sign up for that.
She's still using that face from 2 days after Charlie died, where like the tears don't come out. She looks like she's about to cry, but
The grieving widow.
yeah, and it's just we've never seen her with kids. We've never seen a photo of her actually pregnant. I mean, she didn't drink, but she does drink. She tried out for Amazing Race, but she wasn't a party girl. Like, I don't know.
You were on a reality TV dating series, but you didn't have premarital sex because
Of course not.
You're
And I've
curious
got
that
2
driven
degrees, and it turns out she doesn't have 2 degrees. She just talks about degrees.
yeah, and I mean, and Charlie Kirk's background was pretty fake too. That whole thing about Arizona State and all the bullshit that he pulled, but yeah, I mean, it's just the grifting class. It's
I
unbelievable.
don't think he would be a big fan of what she's doing with his legacy.
I wouldn't think so, and I don't think he'd be a big fan of this little day trip excursion into Iran on behalf of Israel. I don't think he'd be a big fan of that either, and we still don't know who actually killed him.
Yeah, technically, it could have been because of his lack of support for Israel in the end.
A Mossad-style execution, yeah. All the evidence just paved right over. And what about that poor schlub that took the fall for that? What do we hear about that kid?
He's still in court. They want to push that through as quick as they can and as quietly as possible.
I mean, it's been since September.
I know, it's amazing. It's amazing. And all that footage and where the cameras went that had that footage, and even the footage you see, it just does not look like that kid from that distance is putting a bullet that's going to kill this guy.
Oh, and then come back here and plant the gun here.
I know. Let me say that text again about that squad car in the corner.
Yeah. I mean, what
Pathetic.
the fuck? All of this shit. I mean, none of this makes any sense.
And to the that Erica Kirk, I don't know what I fucking called her before, but Erica Kirk. Texas had a bill. It was called the Bible Bill in 2025, Senate Bill 11 in Texas. And it was to create in public schools a time during school for prayer and reading of the Bible. Now, they put in that kind of a poison pill. So you have 1,200 Texas school boards that were required to pass it by March 1st, or else it wasn't going to pass. So it passed, but it had to get over the stipulation of having it passed by March 1st of these 1,200 public school boards. In the end, out of the 1,200, 15 of them obliged. It kind of blew up in their face. I don't think people like that enforced on them.
Yeah.
You can find time during school lunch. Sometimes you have study hall. There's places where you could read your scripture if that's what you're into. What if you're Muslim and you want to pray? Is that part of this bill? I don't think so.
No. That's not a real religion.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, those Iranians, that crazy religion. Like, we're just not very tolerant of anybody outside of ourselves. At this
No,
point.
we're not. And I was listening to an NPR show called A1 or 1A. And yesterday the topic was Christian nationalism.
Oh, okay.
Very interesting, a bit terrifying. But, you know, I mean, these people are just creeping into all aspects of American life. And they talked about, you know, the Christian Zionists and the ties to Israel and just how intolerant they are against everybody who's not a white evangelical. Well, you're not a real American. Um, these people they're a threat. They're a menace. They're in the
Well, and
military. I mean, Pete Hegseth is one of them. And if you listen to they played some clips of some of his rhetoric. It's all about death, destruction, and violence.
he wants to be that guy. He wants
Big tough
Armageddon.
guy. And then I think I sent you that video of him benching 350. The guy's like, wait a minute, that plate's only 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see that? Where I don't know when it was from. It was from a while ago, I think, but he's got a room full of like cadets cheering for him. And
then he gave slap fives all around the room. Ooh.
yeah.
It was like, dude, that bar didn't even bend. Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
A little bit, just a little bit of something. Oh, are we doing the Trump thing? I didn't even know what that whole thing was. It was so bizarre.
Oh, I know. And I mean, who fakes that?
I don't even know, because it's all cosplay, right? I'm going to put on my workout uniform today, and we're going to do some benching. Bro.
Yeah, going to impress the guys.
Yeah, those guys didn't seem all that impressed, but I'm sure he surrounds himself with only those that he likes. They showed him coming off at Dover the second time he went without Trump. He was shaking hands with all the white troops. The second guy in line was black. He did not salute him. He saluted everybody but the black guy. You know, it's offensive.
It is offensive because the military used to be at least one place where everybody was pretty much equal once they desegregated it. And
well, and we remember when people had to go in, like our stepdad, you know, he was a Jewish guy that, you know, hadn't left his little area, barely left his attic and his stack of JoJo mags. Then he went into this service because he had to. He was you know, worked as a typist, but he met all kinds of people, black, white, or other. They accepted him. He accepted them. Like, that's how you learn about other people's culture.
and you learn to work together.
That's right.
And yeah, you learn each other's cultures, and yeah, and we don't have that anymore. But although, hey, maybe they're bringing back the draft. Won't that be great?
It's a good possibility. Boots on the ground. That could be part of the let's talk about LA, is to get support so we can do that. Somebody noted that Barron is investing in a military boot company. That could be concerning. But yeah, that seems like a giant loser to me. And
I think that could be the last domino to fall, because I don't think the American people are going to fall for that at all. You haven't sold this war to them. It's universally unpopular. And you're talking about taking people's kids, young Americans, and sending them over there for what? What's the plan here? Is it going to be a giant D-Day invasion? Are we going to drop paratroops in there?
No.
You have no clue. And you don't have any missiles left.
Yeah, you're definitely running out of
completed the armory.
But they're going to, you know, he's going to do his presidential thing and demand that they make more. God damn it!
And make them faster. Well, it took us this long to make the amount that you just blew through in 3 days. So you can pump all the cash you want into it, but yeah, and it's just not going to work.
And we're paying for it. And they automatically are registering you anyway at 18. The draft age is 18 to 26. And if they need people, they're going to take them. And if you keep messing with this bee's nest, not only if things get tougher at home economically, but on the worldview and environmentally, it's going to be a giant mess, not just an excursion, but a full-blown war of worlds, perhaps.
Yeah, no, it is not a day trip for Peapod to the casino, for sure.
No doubt.
It is not that.
Well, I know I'm running over on time here. I did want to give you some good news today.
Please.
Apparently, let me put this guy up because you're going to be feeling it already. I can tell. There was a study done that said that, and they're all over YouTube, but if you watch a beaver eating cabbage, it lowers your stress rate 17%.
Really?
20%. I'd take it every day, man.
Well, tables have turned, eh?
That's right.
What you usually see on the internet involving beavers, but that's good to know.
Beavers eating cabbage. Yes, that's right.
Well, that is good to know. I like that.
Yeah. So we had our eagles for a while, if you remember, at Bear Lake in California, watching them get hatched and fly. So Now you can turn your attention to beaver, and by that I mean the animal kind. Billy.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. But
So,
any
yeah.
happy ending for yourself?
Let's see. The Pens play tonight. They play at Vegas. They say Crosby may play on this trip. So,
But not tonight.
but not tonight. But not tonight. But on this trip. And so I think that's a little ray of sunshine there. I don't know. You know, just the fact that we're seeing some of the press starting to push back on this, and you know, the flop sweat is it's tangible. You're seeing it. I think you're seeing panic all throughout this White House, except for Stephen Miller, who doesn't sweat because he's actually a zombie. And maybe he'll be the next one to go overboard. I don't know. He's universally unpopular. I think that's one thing we can all agree on. Republicans hate him as much as everybody else does.
No doubt. Well, let's see continued pushback by the press. It makes a huge difference. And what I really like to see is the reaction of the politicians. When you're lying and you know you're lying, it's really hard to push back without just going straight to anger. There is no rationale. You can't explain what you're doing other than you're a sycophant. This isn't Jonestown, though maybe it's something they wish for.
Well, they can drink it first.
That's right. Tell me how the punch tastes, then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, Billy, I'll let you go today. Maybe I'll catch up with you later, Friday
Okay.
or Thursday.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think I'm free after 6:30.
All right. Well, we'll catch up then. But I appreciate your time today and sorting through this.
Yeah, no, nice job today.
All right. You as well. Appreciate it. I will catch up with you later.
Have a good rest of the afternoon.
You too. See ya.